Welcome to the Casual Experience.
Hello, casuals. You're welcome to the Casual Experience Show. The show for the casuals where we talk about anything in combat sports, MMA, give you daily updates and news around the MMA world. And on this episode, we're here to talk about the EKO 8 that just wrapped up at the Pistis Conference Center in Lagos, and also the UFC events that just wrapped up. UFC Vegas that just wrapped up yesterday. And I'm here with my friends, Black Child and GOC.
Yes, so
Yo, what's up? Stella microphone.
we are back to our base. Have you guys even been able to sleep?
No,
Have
I've
you
not
had-
slept.
No,
I've
not
not
at all,
slept.
you know.
Stress is all over my face. I've not slept.
since Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we've just been,
But it was worthwhile now.
Of course,
Yeah,
of course. We'll do it again.
Great one.
Yeah.
We'll do it again and again and again.
Yeah.
Very expository. Very.
I saw GOC trying to break Ngano's record.
Yeah, on the punching
of the
machine.
Punching
Yeah.
machine.
Now,
We tried.
that punching machine doesn't provide a yardstick for what Ngannou did. Actually hit the highest, because after doing my own punch, the machine was damaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we met people. You met new set
All
of
beautiful
friends.
Yes,
women.
definitely.
Networking.
This is our fourth
Yes. I play.
AKO. We're here in Abuja here. We're there at Monarch Center in
3
Lekki,
times.
Landmark in Lekki, 7, 8 now at Pistis Conference Center. So, of course, we'll do it again, like you said, again.
And you met a new media friend.
Lois
Lois.
Oguniyi. She has her own YouTube page, Feast, or is it
Feast to Feast.
Feast to Feast, yes.
She's on IG
Yeah.
and
Very
YouTube.
surprised, when I met her. Her knowledge of the game.
Yeah.
Really.
Very surprised.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Talking about women, I met a lot of beautiful women, the ring girls, cage side girls. Like,
And you just type.
I collected
Never even
numbers.
start events. You don't pursue one of those ring girls. They go.
bro, I'm not married. Like any opportunity,
Did you go
God
to
doesn't
watch,
find.
Did you go to
woman
watch
for you.
fights or did you
collect
go to
numbers?
collect?
That's how it happens. Adam woke
oh.
up and he just saw Eve, so it could happen. God never finds a wife for you. So I saw her; she was so beautiful
Yeah,
to
you
behold.
can find your wife.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah.
Full Spirit has Lois' number.
Yeah.
No, my guy. And I met another lady who's very passionate and enthusiastic about fights. She just came. She said she's been always coming for the AKO. I'm like, I find it very, intriguing when I see a lady who has this energy towards, dominating male sports.
Maxwell Kalu.
That's
was
damn big guy.
around. Yeah,
Oh,
African
really?
Warriors.
The founder of the African Warriors
Fighting
Fighters Championship. Yeah, it was there.
And
Damn
everyone
big.
seems to have the same opinion about the center. Like it's not as it was bad, but like think Landmark was still.
Oh yeah, I was
far
about
better.
telling you now. Landmark is like the cream of the crop, because I feel that these other ones, in terms of setting, especially these pistes, the screens were limited. They didn't have this drop screen that drops at the epicenter of the octagon. That exposes stats of the fighters, details, and I'm very long-sighted. I'm short-sighted, so I barely see something that is actually far.
Yeah.
And I was ringside, and I could barely make out statistics like age, fight records and
Okay.
stuff,
Age and all that,
and
yeah.
capturing, very exciting moments, crowd reaction. It was kind of clumsy because on the other side, like the Landmark, I don't know, the arrangement was for nosebleeds, the guy that are up, you could actually get a very nice arrangement. But this one,
But they didn't change. They didn't change the setup for the entrance. The entrance of the fighters. Who had the best entrance?
No. Landmark still.
No, who had the best? The fighter.
Oh,
The fighter that had
of
the
course,
Jeb
it
was
was Jeb.
Oh my
With
God!
The Spartan
Jeb was
mask
good. Jeb was
thing.
good.
As in,
Yeah.
wherever I got that concept from,
Yeah,
you should
man.
just stick to it.
African
till-
Spartan, shout out to
Even
you.
that
Yes.
entrance alone bought him a lot of supporters.
Like,
Yeah. Attention.
This is like the first time I've seen his entrance. Like, and before now, everyone has always been like this guy.
Hype,
Yeah.
yeah.
And when he came in, he held his the what do you call
Helmets.
the helmet,
Yeah.
the gladiator helmet,
yeah.
and when he wore it, I was like, damn,
Damn, this guy
just
killed
like
it.
action movie.
So that entrance
Yes.
was wonderful. Yeah.
And the name he has.
and
is
he didn't even mess up with the fight too.
Delivered.
His fights even upped his entrance.
Yeah.
With his nickname, the African Spartan.
African Spartan,
Yeah.
yeah. Then I think he has another nickname that is Phenomenon.
Yeah, no, that's his.
That's his first name?
That's his first name.
Beatrice.
His name is.
Jeb.
I think the other name is also Phenomenal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Jeb
Jeb.
Phenomenal.
Oh wow, that guy is a future star. I just hope that his teammates,
coaches.
the TMAs, his coaches, and even the AKO
Yeah,
that
he's
is
a
giving
very
him the
soluble-
platform,
yeah.
they should they should know what they are doing with him. But the weight class that he's in, man,
Yeah, it's rough.
A lot of guys.
The likes of Diate, he called out Diate after his victory.
he called out the three of them.
called out
He said
Yusuf.
he could submit Mulumbu. He
That's
spoke.
the thing, yeah.
So there was an interview we had with all the TV stations that were there.
Yeah.
And the way he spoke so well, confidently.
Yes.
You know, I'm very impressed.
Yes.
Yeah,
I couldn't do that.
He
at
was so
20 years.
approachable.
Yeah, I think he also has a good team around him. You know,
Yes.
the-
Teams are amazing.
Shags.
Shags.
They make him humble.
the
TMA team,
They were
they were
2
2
out
for
of
2.
2. Yeah,
Yes.
2 for 2.
Like, and
Amazing.
when I was interviewing Shags, I was like, you are becoming the Khabib. And kudos to them.
Yeah.
They never took the shine off the athletes.
Yes,
The athletes.
yes. Although
You
he was
feel-
there, yeah.
Yes. Him
He
and
did
his
a great
team.
job.
Yeah.
Did a great
In
job.
fact, they are building up a great team.
And actually brought a team from Abuja. Did you notice
Yes,
the
now,
white
I
girls
saw
that
them.
came around?
Supporters, yeah, they had a lot of
Amazing,
supporters.
amazing.
You know, and the support was.
For me, and that standout was Venatius.
No, not really. The girl with the ass game. My bad.
Oh, the twerking queen.
Yes.
Oh, boy, that
Twerking
was-
queen.
that was
Jane.
another
Jane,
level.
yes. That was Jane
Everywhere.
Osigwe.
I think she was the one who lit up the arena the most.
Yes.
You know, outside the fighting.
And you could
I've
see-
not seen a kickboxer, female kickboxer as good as that. Good
She
kickboxing.
dominated her opponents
Dominated,
throughout.
you know, and the microphone game, like I always say.
But I
was
think she
stellar.
needs to, personally, from
the
what I'm
ground
looking,
game?
she needs to work on her grappling. If she's to
Yeah.
face Sana,
Yes,
if she's to
yes,
face Sana,
exactly.
because you could see now, even when
Joy.
Sana and Joy were fighting,
Yeah.
Sana
Sana
just felt
dominated.
all she needed to do was to just grab Joy. If it was stand up, Joy was fine.
Yeah, Joy is
but
very strong.
She just needed to grab him, grab her, and I think if that comes to it, Jane too is someone sellable.
Yes.
She's also
Yes.
Yeah, that's
she
Osigwe,
has
right?
the female, yeah, Osigwe.
Oh,
she has
amazing.
that aura around her.
Minnow, she has the stellar microphone, she has a
twerk-
good look.
and the stellar
You barely
twerking
see
game.
ladies who are black and beautiful. And then twerking was
And she-
another
and she
level.
speaks well.
Speaks very well. So come on, man, that's another sellable star.
Yeah,
You know?
but Venatius too did really well
Did
too,
very well. You know.
facing that kind of opponent that
Like
he
a
faced.
gorilla.
And one thing I noticed about Venatius is, you know, when they say fight IQ is a real thing.
I agree.
When you are in the cage and you are adjusting
think
to
that's what
what
he
you are
has.
Game
seeing,
plan, yeah.
you could see it.
He
Oh,
adjusted.
her,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, true.
He even in the second round, I don't know. It seems as Venatius
looking
was
tired.
fading.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
and
gas
he,
tank was
and he
actually
just like,
trouble.
let me mellow, let this guy come to
Yes,
me,
I
and,
could
or
see
let
what
me
he
just
was
couple
doing.
him.
Very great IQ. You know,
Yeah.
very great IQ because he knew that if he actually engages the more, he's going to wear himself out.
Yeah.
So he just stays. Then when the guy comes, he now shoots for a
Yes.
single leg or a double leg.
Yeah.
You know, but talking about the controversial thing that happened, which
The
was the
headbutt.
headbutt. Let's be very frank. Was it a headbutt?
Anyway, you said you are long-sighted, so
It was 2 times.
it was a pattern one, yes. Now
And
the
then
first
second
one
one.
grazed him.
Then
Then the second one
really
hit him at the side
I
of
was
his
just
head.
kidding. I was
He
just
said it
kidding.
was
He actually a
eardrums.
headbutt.
Yeah.
And okay, now thank God
What?
that he actually, you know, because some people just say that and just shank it. And
I feel
he
it
did well.
was.
He did
I
well in the
asked
fight,
him.
yeah.
I asked him when I was interviewing him. I asked him that, like, do you think the fight, he was frustrated. His opponent was frustrated, and he clearly said it,
definitely,
that yes,
definitely.
he couldn't touch him.
Definitely. I'm sure he was surprised. Xavier from
Yeah,
Cote
Xavier,
d'Ivoire,
yeah.
He was surprised the way Venatius dominated him in the first round.
Yes.
You know? His, like you said, his in-fight management was very good.
Yes.
And you know, he told me that as an Igbo boy, all he wanted to do was just grapple.
Grapple him, yes. And even Gidigbo, him
Yeah,
na.
Olo-
That guy was big. He looked
Yes.
big,
Yes.
and he was just throwing bombs, and he was just calm in the storm.
But was that your most exciting fight of the night?
No, now,
was Jeb,
but Venatius impressed me. Like, but the fight of the night, they gave Diate the performance of the night.
And
But for
Yusuf.
me, I beat Jeb.
Maybe it's because the way
African
Diate
Spartan.
dominated Yusuf.
apparently why?
But look, if it wasn't that Yusuf too is an highly, you know, that's his first loss.
Yes.
If he's not an highly skilled fighter, he would have finished him earlier.
Yes.
Because he kept weathering the storm, he kept weathering, but he was just over him.
Over him. He
Yes.
kept on going.
I
He
think the
didn't stop.
trouble there was that Yusuf was equally conscious that Diate has. Is it Diate? Yes. Diate has a very good BJJ. Okay, but his striking was just another level. His striking was overwhelming. Even when he got him on the ground, normally Yusuf was like, "Come, let us grapple." The guy didn't grapple him. He's like, "Get up, let me frustrate your grappling game." And your submission. He even tried to get a triangle choke.
Yeah.
He couldn't lock it. He couldn't do anything, and he was all frustrated.
But you always complain about the categories in the AQ.
Weight classes.
Weight class, sorry,
yeah. I think people are not really put in the right weight class. See the guy that fought from South Africa,
Yeah,
Chad, the
Chad,
Senegalese,
yeah,
the
Anakin.
Cone guy. The Cone guy is
Anakin,
a welterweight.
Superman.
Anakin,
Yes,
yeah,
he's a welterweight.
He fought in middleweight.
We shouldn't fight in
I don't even
middleweight.
think Venatius should be fighting
And
like
also, I don't even think that
he could make
guy-
middleweight
He
easily.
told us they told him to drop, but he
Even
doesn't
this
want
guy,
He doesn't want
To. He
to.
doesn't want to.
this dude, the South African, he's big.
Chad,
That guy should be in light heavyweight.
That guy just has a sense of let me just grab my opponent. That's what he wants to do.
No, let him go and start grabbing in light heavyweight.
You know, he's gone to. You know, he's been to Dana White's contender series. But I didn't see him. He didn't come out for his media. Like
Yeah, he didn't come out throughout.
Superman
He
didn't
came
come
on,
out,
yeah,
which
yeah.
was unlike him because
The
six
last time he was
we're all
young.
over him.
Wait, he's gone to the Dana White's contender series.
Yes, he's been to Dana White's contender
Amazing.
series.
Oh, if he's gone to that height,
and
then he should have gone.
without any iota of doubt, I think we are the AK. Kudos to the AKO. They are bringing up stars that even the grassroots casuals. That is UFC that brought us to like that, made us fall in love with me. Apart from us watching Jackie Chan and Jet Li's movies, yes, but now we are seeing fights live.
MMA live.
And then we're actually seeing stars live. Like in a sane world, we interacting with these athletes is not something that comes by easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you can actually interact with like those sheikhs, even African Spartan.
Yeah.
You can see the star in that guy.
Yeah, he's a star.
They in a way they will shield him. Obviously, the TMA team will shield him and make sure that he's on the right path. But to even be for him to be able to be humble
I stopped him at the car
and be
park now.
accessible.
But you know, also
Humility,
as
yeah.
casual experience, you know, when we knock on any door, they open. You
Yeah.
call any
Yeah.
fighter you want to interview, he runs to you. you know,
Yeah,
so-
I just met him. He was like, I
kudos
don't
to
know where
us.
you. He said, I said in podcast. He said, oh, what's happened?
But now the AKO cannot but not up
Yes.
their ante. AKO 9, they have to they're doing well, but they have to improve on the venue.
Yeah.
They have to like the production crew, and they are so in sync with
Yeah,
themselves.
sync, yeah, I must give them that props.
What do they call that long thing?
But the camera.
Crane. Is it Crane? There was a name that they call it Crane. That the guy handling.
camera, yeah,
Yes, you could see they were so in tandem with themselves and.
But you know, I can talk about AKO 9 now. You know, most of the fights here were finals or semi-finals.
Yes.
The Diate Yusuf was the semi-final.
So now Diache is going to be facing Mulumbu.
Yeah, Mulumbu.
Mulumbu in the final, in the way-
Also Venatius. It was also
Venatius.
the final. It was semi-final rather. So most of these fights, even this lady, the Cameroonian, the Moroccan, Sana, was also
Yeah.
a semi-final.
Yeah.
So most of these fighters were semi-finals, and maybe AKO 9 now will be the final.
And one thing that seems to eat me most because even after the main event, I one thing that I always want to notice when I'm watching fights is the post-fight interview,
Octagon interview.
of the octagon interview
Yeah.
of the fighters.
They need to
The
improve on
one
it.
thing that eats me, no, they are doing well. The one thing that
Really?
eats me with every of the fighters that won is the fact that they regard their team, they regard the hard work that the team puts in for them. Because the truth of the matter is the stars, the fighters themselves we know. But
We don't know the backroom stuff.
yes, but if not for Sheiks that is in their corner, if the other corner men,
The other guys,
we won't
we
know
don't know
them.
them, yeah.
Even Venatius corner. There's a particular knowledgeable guy that I've always been
He
seeing.
has been coaching a lot of fighters from AKO 5.
Yes,
It's always in
and
all
I was
AKOs,
looking
yes.
like I was in
I know him also.
well on all of them. Venatius kept
I think-
saying my team in PH. He even gave shout out to a young guy Fabio that
his
we should
brother,
watch out.
his
We should
brother,
watch out for
his younger brother.
for him.
His younger brother.
See, in fact, I'm so impressed by
Yes.
what's happening.
The guy behind Venatius,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's Jim or he's...
His younger brother.
No,
when
not
the
other
AKO
one.
when the KKO had his
He's more
thing
in
in
the
their
east.
house.
Most of the East fighters, Southeast
Yes.
fighters, always come through him. He's always their coach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
You really sound very enthused. I mean, apparently you're a family guy.
guys, see my Jota on AKO on the only fights
You're
we watch
enthused.
like
So,
4
AKO,
pages.
can you see? Let's put this camera.
Like
Let them see.
just looking at it.
A lot of flipping of pages. Like you actually
fact.
document a lot of things. You're
Yeah,
sounding
yes,
enthused
yes,
and
yes.
passionate. AKO, are you watching?
Because I sense it and I know it that like when you start things like this, the resources aside, the input, the universe cannot but reward them.
Enthusiasm and passion.
You cannot, but you cannot just see when you see what they are building. Like, okay, let's give an example. If not for them, aside them, Usman and Israel,
Israel.
and then them sheikhs that paving ways and all that, like
Things like that.
if not for the AKO, how do we know this? How do we know these
Talents,
guys?
talents on the
How do we
ground.
know
They
these
bring these
guys?
talents to our
Grassroots
doorstep.
level.
Yes. How can we talk about like African Spartan, like that guy now?
He's
I'm
a
going to
star.
follow. I'm going to follow his trajectory to the end. I know he's going to go to UFC.
UFC, yeah.
I mean, the Venatios. You know that guy like he is knowledgeable in.
Yes.
He wants to.
Yes.
He,
He
watches
knows
about-
what he wants.
He wants
He
to
studies his opponents.
like. I'm
Wow,
impressed.
I'm even impressed.
I'm
you
impressed.
actually,
No,
you
for
actually
sure.
just speaking with all vehement,
Yes,
energetic about it. Oh yeah.
But talking of Jeb, sorry if I
okay.
interrupted you. You were saying you shouldn't fight the likes of Diate yet.
Why?
Myself, I never said that.
Okay.
No, I
But
never
because
said
Shegs was even
Do you
saying.
think he's ready to face?
I
Diate?
when I was with Ugo when they finished, I was asking Ugo. Ugo said Jeb actually wanted Diate.
Wow.
that. Wow.
I'm like,
That's confidence.
and Shegs even said it. He repeated it when we were interviewing him.
That's
Like,
confidence.
mark my words that there's none of these guys that Jeb can undo.
That's confidence.
But that Diate, what do you see as his weapon? I feel his space alone is something else.
I don't want to happen to Ayana to happen
Okay,
to
so
Jeb.
personally, I think
Yes, Ayana. See, Ayana too
That's
is.
what happened to Ayana. I don't want to happen to Jeb.
Jeb.
You know?
Okay, so I think Jeb could mislead you with his looks, but his ground game is another level. I
Yeah.
think so. I think he has. See that clinch. That clinch was what resulted to the final result.
Yeah.
And he mounted
That
the
he
guy. I just
clinched
like this.
the
is-
clinch. Then it was a drag. Then he now, I don't know what it's called, but he now toppled him and he put him on the floor. and
He
just
knew every setup. He knew what he was doing.
weight
Every
management.
control.
He knew how to place.
Even when he
knew what to
mounted
do.
him, he didn't just stay behind where the guy could use the leg to. He mounted him appropriately.
He was so confident.
And I think he was talking to him and like,
Even get the crowd a thumbs up. Why
yeah,
not?
he gave his corner his.
Diate, I think the mystery behind that is somebody who is really a strong grappler. Okay, so you don't. I think Yosef is.
He seems to have cardio for days.
Yeah,
I thought
he
he was going
does.
to
Very
wear.
aggressive
I thought he was going to wear himself out.
But I think he's even big for that weight class.
He
So
did
you
that,
see weight
Abi.
bullying, yeah, weight bullying. Him and Mulumbu are the same WhatsApp group. They have
Mulumbu too.
He's big. See what he did to Ayana.
But
What I think is
Ugo said, Diate's first loss was to Mulumbu's teammate.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that might play.
so now you now watch the fight and see how the loss transpired. So you discover that probably it's a grappling clinic.
Yeah.
Because if I was to fight that guy, you see all those who's coming, I'm going to shoot. Even not a double, a single.
Yusuf, he was trying now. You think he wasn't trying?
No, he
there?
was, but Yusuf's game plan was let me get this guy on the ground and
Yeah.
mistakenly use a mistake and actually.
Diate just kept him on survival mode. That was on Diate.
kept
What
on
if he was
attacking,
coming
He-
forward?
yes, he,
What if
he didn't even give him space to
Yeah,
to
no,
think
he kept
or
on
reset.
attacking.
So Daniel Comey taught me something. If somebody throws a punch, the best defense is not to do this. Is to throw your own punch again. So I think what Yusuf needed to do, Yusuf's plan was to just let him actually pay with a mistake he will make and he will submit him. But what that guy was doing was
GOC,
Yeah.
if it's the fight game plan and all, I don't think we are
As casuals.
experts.
As casuals.
No, we are experts. So what we see is what we see.
Yeah.
okay.
In that ring,
It's
in
a
that
completely
octagon,
different kettle of fish.
it's something else. It's and that game is when you get there, when you are in there, I feel if you don't calm yourself down, I'm sure everything you even thought, everything you
You're training about
easily flies off. You can't see
Yes.
someone running at you. And do you think they planned in when they were training that CO, the first thing he would do, he would run at you from the first bell. I'm sure they had their own game plan.
I'm
He
sure
didn't
Yusuf
just
had his own plan,
he
yeah.
just imposed his will. Diate imposed his will on Yusuf. And Yusuf on his own part, a lesser athlete would not survive that long.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I
And the
agree.
fact that he was undefeated
Yes. Yeah.
played a mental strength in him surviving that long.
very correct.
Because that guy
You're very
was
correct.
all over him, man. Diate was all over him.
To survive the first round. I think it was second
Do you
round.
consider
Yeah.
the stoppage an early stoppage?
Which one?
The Yusuf.
No.
I don't.
I don't think so.
I felt that because he was still fighting. I felt that the referee should have still allowed the fight to be.
I don't. See, I think the AKO, them being them now, they should avoid. I'm sure. I know it's going to be unavoidable at some instances, but right now they should avoid the issue of late stoppage. I don't think we've even seen eye pokes.
No, we have.
Yeah,
No,
we've not
there's
seen
one
eye pokes
eye
in-
poke,
One
one eye
eye
poke.
poke and AK07.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So they should just try and it's three things. They should try and minimize controversies such as eye pokes, the sort of
Early
the
stoppage.
headbutts and
Early stoppage.
early stoppage. And another thing I would want to encourage the AKO is young stars that you see that are sellable, that are marketable. The likes of Ayana,
Jeb
the
now.
likes of Jeb, they should
Push them on the right.
this lady Osigwe,
Yeah.
guys, with your platform, push them to the sky. Like push them. These guys, if they see real backup, I mean, the TMA team and the other gyms are supporting the athletes' rights. But if they see proper backing up from platforms like the AKO, even in our podcast here, trust me, no one when they go there foreign land, no one will do them
Anyhow.
anyhow.
Yes.
Yeah. They should not just see a star and put a star under the table. and
Yeah,
push up.
they should know the
How
fights.
to nurture the talent.
They should know the fights they are going to fit, because the truth of it, the fighter ego will tell you that I can beat anybody.
I can fight anybody.
But you should know the fights you will feed them. You will know the styles you feed them. Trust me, Paddy Pimblett is not to me is not all that great. And see him very soon now. If he wins Michael
Straight.
Chandler,
First 5.
he's going to first fight. He might even fight for the title. That is knowing
Star power.
star power,
That's a man
you know.
is, yeah.
And trust me, African Spartan is a star. Vinicius is a star.
Yeah.
Osigwe is a star.
Osigwe is a star. And
It's just what basically saying is like having a stellar knowledge of
yes,
star power.
I saw him in 5, and that guy has one of the most beautiful jabs I can
Fell in
see.
love with him.
Jab,
The first
setup.
fight, he fell in love with him.
Have you seen that Ayana guy?
Yeah, fast like Max Holloway.
Yeah.
Good kicks.
He used jab to
Good
destroy the guy
jabs.
that
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
And then the next fight, we see the person they fed him.
Yes, the fed
The
him
guy
with monster.
was bigger than him.
Yeah, with
Like,
bullying.
And he hasn't come back since then.
Never done. Yeah.
and if he's listening to this, he should be encouraged that there are guys that are seeing him.
Love you so
There are
much.
fans that are loving you, and
Fell in love
don't
with you
like
from the first fight.
just
Yeah.
just be
Stick to your
encouraged,
craft.
guys.
Stick to your craft. Yeah, I think that Mulumbu they just have to just get a bantamweight. I think there's a bantamweight for guys. I don't think so.
And they should even be strict with the classes. They should know
Yeah.
this is a class that it is. They shouldn't like. I'm sure most of these fighters, because they are not setting weight classes, or the way I don't know how their dehydration system goes about.
Or rehydration.
They are fighters that will just be using unnecessarily weight.
South African and cone. It's a misplaced.
There's actually bantamweight fight.
there
category,
is?
Yeah. The first fight, the Damilare against
Featherweight
Lewis.
just stole
The
everything.
Kimura submission. It was
Yes.
the bantamweight fight, yeah.
But what was your overview of the whole thing? Like, what's your best fight?
My best fight, I think with Diate. I was very excited about Diate.
Yeah.
I wanted him to win. I predicted he was going to win, and I'm very happy. Also, Vinicius surprised me.
Yes.
When I saw the size of Xavier, I thought he would struggle, but the way he dominated the fight, very
Yes.
excited.
Vinicius gives me that Dominic Cruz kind of vibe. Dominic Cruz, yes, he's someone that like he
Finds a way to win.
yes, and he studies not apart from his
IQ.
opponents. He watches fight and study, like the thing plays in his head immediately. You see, he was using that oblique kick to push that guy aside.
Yes. The guy kept coming. That was good, but what intrigued me in the whole, I mean, my go-to was Jeb and Osigwe.
Yeah.
A great game.
And then Emmanuel too. Ima.
Oh, really?
Ima, yes. It was
Emmanuel
just
stepped
they
out.
call him a walking machine. I think he checks corner him.
Really?
Yeah. But no, kudos to the Casual Experience crew. Of course, let's give a shout out, of course, to the management of Casual Experience. It was a beautiful, time
stellar
in
outing.
Lagos. Stellar outing, like you say.
Stellar outing.
To our production manager, of course,
Full
Full Spirit. Our cameraman Demola, everyone.
Demo.
Of course, to you also, Toby.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for everything you do for the Casual Experience.
We waiting with our own concern. We will your life fight. We will your life fight.
No, like, to make it happen was a
fight.
huge thing, It's a humongous achievement. I mean, it just plateaued in anything anybody desired, It's not easy to just fund an outing. People went out, caught fun, had a lot of nice time on the island. It was, words are failing me
every
to
form
describe
of
it right now.
combat activity going on in this country and Africa, I think we will be going.
Wow.
The EFC, I watch the EFC. It's such a big platform too.
Yeah.
South Africa,
South Africa.
they are doing solidly
Promoting
well.
talents.
I just hope and pray that all these platforms, even though they are individuals, they can work in tandem even as an African team.
Yeah.
Because the UFC is such a big baller that they're such a heavyweights that they are just knocking down every other form of promotion. Now you can see the PFL now has gotten Bellator.
Wow, they bought Bellator.
They bought Bellator. Bare Knuckle are trying to do something outside the normal niche. So it's as a result. But I feel if if the platforms in Africa not necessarily enter into each other, but there is a way that they can work. Synergize.
Okay.
The EFC, they shouldn't see themselves as separate entities.
Yeah.
We should just see ourselves as one African team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we as casual experience, we are all for the ride.
Yeah, man.
We see the many media
houses,
youngsters coming up. The love of it. This is how it begins, and it's just a movement, and it's going to be a big movement. And we remember these times.
Yeah. Take note, man. Take note, man.
And even because of all the gist that we had for African,
Spartan.
we couldn't even talk about UFC. And yesterday it was Murphy.
Yeah, Lauren Murphy and Josh Emmett.
That's the brother of Leon Edwards.
Oh, really?
No, Leon Murphy is not.
It's not.
What's
Fabian.
Brother? Fabian. That one is in PFL.
Yeah.
Leon Murphy. Do you know why I said that? Yeah. You know they have similar styles.
Yes. And they like running. They like using kicks to actually keep a distance.
Yes, he was just
That's what
moving around, and I don't think the crowd enjoyed his performance.
I didn't like
because they were booing him that much. Josh Emmett was trying to grapple him, but one thing that Josh didn't do much for me was he wasn't throwing much combo.
Yeah, no combinations.
You know that you have an hammer in your hand, and he was just throwing his one twos.
I was even of the opinion that he could actually just take a punch to give a punch. So when he goes to be taking one punch, he could throw combinations, and he was always keeping him at the side cage. Yeah. And he was actually mixing it with his grappling. You understand? But that guy was using oblique kicks, using kicks to the head. Yeah. You know, then his combinations are on that level too.
And that
there was something he did. How was that major thing he did? I've forgotten it. Was it? I've forgotten. But he did one phenomenal thing.
He carried him now and slammed him.
That's Josh Emmett. I'm talking about Leon Murphy. Murphy did something that was quite incredible. I forgot it. But the one incredible thing that stood out for me. But I don't still see him at championship.
And that fight was Brad Tavares.
Oh, Tavares came up.
He's now equaled Michael Bisping's win starts in middleweight.
Yes. Tavares has been fighting.
He's been fighting for a long time. I think he has 19 wins now in middleweight. Equal as
Bisping.
Osborne to fourth. Then there is this killer in middleweight. He's like the middleweight in Ghana. But with wrestling skills. Torres Finney. He's undefeated.
Check him out.
The way he beats this Robert Valentine.
Wow.
It was as if the guy robbed his house or something.
Then feeding with RoboCop. That'll be an interesting matchup.
And next week we're going to be having our UFC
314. Our watch party. Stay woke. Don't go anywhere. CCE. We're going to lock it down. Watch party. We don't give a stellar experience.
Guys, I know some of you might be wondering what he means by the watch party is. It's just us. We fight lovers. We gather to watch. Just the way they watch football. Football fans watch football. It's just us gathering around and watching fights. Especially when it's a pay-per-view. We do that on pay-per-view. So if you are interested, if you're in Abuja and you want to be a part of our watch party, you just keep leaving comments.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Guys, I know you guys watch our shows, but subscribe.
On all socials.
Leave a like, subscribe, comment. There's a lot of food, a lot of drinks, networking, people to meet.
Yes.
I mean,
and we'll be having a review show of the 314 this
Thursday.
week. Headlined by
Lopez.
Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. The co-main is Michael Chandler and Paddy Pimblett. And
I'm curious, my mouth is scratching me, but let's leave it till Thursday.
But this week, AKO's got our mouth, AKO's got our channel, AKO's got our platform, and we can say kudos to
African Knockout.
Show. And kudos to all the athletes that show out.
Yeah.
And the ones that had the losses, please lift your head up. It's not the end.
It's a stepping stone.
It's always there's always room to learn. And what do you want to say?
I mean, I thumbs up to the organizers of AKO, Kamaru Usman. I mean, bringing
and
global
Ryan,
experience.
There's a guy we met. Ryan, that guy was so in depth in Ryan, now that's his name. Yes, he was one that told us who to meet that gave us tickets. Shout out to Ryan too. That guy, you could see he was so exhausted. He was exhausted. He was there all day, monitoring the crew. Even to the end of it, and when we were going, I saw him. I was like, "Ryan, good job."
Anytime he sees us, always like, of course,
yes,
he recognizes casual experience.
I know you. So
can't wait for AKO 9. You know, AKO 8 was one of the best we've been to.
Yeah,
they keep on getting better.
Yes.
Although we still feel there was a little.
But made they move them around states now. Made they move them around states.
Yeah, I feel they should go to another state.
There's Port Harcourt. There is. They should bring it back to Abuja. Like
definitely, I feel they should bring it back to Abuja.
We have celebrities, politicians, celebrities that love fights too.
You said Sheyi Tinubu loves fights.
Sheyi follows AKO. Sheyi Tinubu, like I know personally, he loves fights. He watches, like not sit down fully to watch, but he watches all these glimpses of UFC. He follows AKO. AKO knows that. He follows them on their platform. That's the son of the president. Like, do you know Melaye will come? Wike, if you call Wike and you give him enough alcohol, he will come. We have celebrities like moving around.
No, they
guys.
to Abuja, yeah.
Moving
They do
around.
the promotion well. I'm sure people show up in Abuja.
Trust me, if AKO 8 was in Abuja, they will have more
Because
audience,
of Jeb, yes.
yes, they will have more people in that arena on Saturday.
Yeah.
On Friday rather.
Yes.
As much because now, do you know another thing? Another factor is the Muslims just finished fasting. The youth among them are looking for activities.
Something
To do. They want to come out. Yeah. And African Warriors Championship, they are going to be having their events.
Said there'll be an announcement coming up.
Yes. But man, those guys are big.
They got a new sponsor.
They've partnered with Design.
I suppose they got a new sponsorship from.
What was Maxwell's view about when you asked him?
No, he said they got a new sponsorship from
The Zone.
Yeah, The Zone.
Design,
It's
the guys
big
that
streaming
do box.
platform.
streaming platform. Yes, he said because we should wait for him. There's an announcement coming up.
Yes, and we'll be there too now, like normal. And in fact, the combat world and community is just growing bigger in Africa and Nigeria, and we are in for the ride. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your comments. We see everything and we are appreciative. We thank you, and just watch out for the review show of the UFC 314 coming up. It's a wrap, yo.
Peace.
It's a wrap.
Welcome to the casual experience.